do we need to consider as a county having two planning and zoning commissions? Have a northern planning and zoning commission and a three-quarter southern? Would that just muddy the water, Walter? I think the people in Spanish Valley are so engaged, I can't imagine they wouldn't want to have more input in planning and zoning. And to me, we could facilitate that by having a planning and zoning commission in the northern part of the county and one for the rest of the county. I don't know. Maybe that's too discriminatory.
Right now it's manageable with one, but as that area grows and the issues grow there, I mean, I think that would be something to look at.
Right. And that's the model they use in Summit County with Park
Yeah.
City and the rest of the sort of that urbanized, as it were, part of the county versus the Colville area that's less so. And it seems to work fairly well for them. And I think it's something worth us looking into pretty expeditiously here. Maybe that's part of the conversations that Mark's having with residents up there to gauge that as well.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily suggest it to just only people in that valley, but that would certainly be a way to put some more members on a planning commission that is affecting that part of the county. There still needs to be some representation from some of the other part of the county, but I don't know. You can tell I'm a little frustrated by this whole thing, and maybe the thing that's frustrated me more than anything is the engagement that has come from Grand County into this whole process. I am not happy about that. Anyway.
Is there any sort of, we can talk about this later as well, but if there's a desire to correspond on that front,
Okay.
figuring that out.
Well, I don't want to do anything solely as a commissioner. I want support from the other commissioners if they feel the same.
I think some kind of response should be put in place. Because just like Bruce says, we're talking about moratorium, but we're not taking any actions on any engagement with other personal corporations. And it's supposed to be more core to where the staff from here and our legal advisors should be out looking at every avenue of how we can make this work for everybody. That's supposed to be the more core.
Good.
And I just felt that the planning and zoning attorney was taking some actions, and whatever they're doing was in motion. But if there's nothing happening, something needs to happen. He is right that something needs to happen right away.
Well, the biggest thing, the most important thing we can do really is to make sure that we're getting our process going to figure out what kind of zoning we want, what kind of development process, approval process, development process needs to be in place for that area that's subject to the moratorium. And that is why we've been able to get Landmark Design on board to help us get that going. That's a project.
Yep.
It's a significant project, and between Walter and I, we certainly don't have the bandwidth to do that, and that's why we have people who know what who have a good history.
Like Mark said, he's been on this thing for 2 years. We've been on sewer and water for 5 or 6 years in that valley. There's been a huge amount of attention paid to Spanish Valley in the last 6 or so years that I know of, and a huge number of public meetings, unfortunately, which not very many people attended, but I think they're motivated now. So let's let the process go, and let's have some good engagement and some good contacts made, and let's get the right people here.
Okay.
You got the right guy.
Yeah, so we'll coordinate here. I would like to talk a little bit more about the Loves issue and whether or not we try to bring in some economic analysis. We can talk further about that, but I think the process does unfold and it becomes a little bit uncomfortable as we move forward. Getting Loves to the table would be great. We'd like to talk to them as we move forward, but it sounds like even more important is that they come to you at some point to.
Oh, I think the most important thing, Mark, is that they meet with the people in Spanish Valley, that they listen to their concerns, and that they answer some of their questions if they can.
Okay. All right.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Long.
They all sleep.